Today we will be exploring the ideas behind why golf balls have dimples. Way back when, in the 1800s, two golfers decided to play a round of golf. The two golfers clearly came from 2 degrees of wealth, as one stepped onto the green with state-of-the-art, brand new clubs, and the other shamefully stumbled forward, old clubs in hand. The first golfer looked at his companion and smirked. Could he really think he was even competition? Ha! He proceeded to tee off first, reaching into his bag and pulling out a brand new, shiny, round ball. He teed up, got set, and swung flawlessly, sending the ball 150 yards. The second golfer stood in awe. However, knowing his golf game was just as adequate, he teed up and prepared his swing. He, however, only had old, dinged, and scratched up balls. Nothing like the pristine round ball the previous golfer had used. His companion chuckled, but he teed up his old ball anyways. He took position and swung. Both golfers were awestruck when his shot soared over the first, landing about 75 yards further down the green. But how could this be? How could the old scratched ball be so much more efficient than the new shiny one? Simply put, the old ball was reducing drag. After almost a quarter of a century of golfers using this old scratched balls and not understanding why, Taylor Hobson solved the riddle. As golf balls fly through the air, 2 types of drag are developed. The first is the drag due to friction or air hitting the front of the ball as it travels. This drag is minimal compared to the second type of drag, produced by the separation of airflow around the back of the spherical golf ball. This leads us into the 2 types of flow experienced by the golf ball, laminar and turbulent, both shown here in the lower figure. Laminar flow has less drag but is prone to experience separation, as in the case of the golf ball. Once the air travels around to the back side of the ball, nothing is causing it to stick, and once the separation of this boundary layer occurs, drag rises immensely due to the eddies that form in this gap. These little eddies are attempting to pull the ball back. Therefore, in order to ensure a longer flight, the separation of the boundary layer needs to be delayed as long as possible. This is once again shown in the lower figure. This can be done in one of 2 ways. By either increasing the speed of the ball, which seems impossible since this is controlled by the human, or by finding a way to force the air to stay in the boundary layer longer, which, as discovered by Mr. Hobson, could be done by playing with a dimpled ball. The dimpled ball creates very small amounts of turbulence, the second type of flow. Turbulent flow experiences more drag initially, however, has better adhesion, causing the air to remain in the boundary layer longer. This results in the airflow separation occurring later on the ball, with fewer eddies forming and less force trying to pull the ball backwards, shown here on the right. Therefore, if the shape of the object experiences separation easily, like a perfectly smooth golf ball, it is better to turbulate the boundary layer to increase adhesion of the air to the ball and reduce the number of eddies formed. Putting dimples on a golf ball is the symmetric way of recreating the same turbulence in the boundary layer that nicks and cuts do. Golf balls are under constant testing to determine the best number of dimples to increase flight. However, currently, anywhere between 300 to 450 dimples is standard. The USGA also states that the dimples must be symmetrically placed, since asymmetrical alignment would eliminate hooks or slices, and wouldn't that be nice? But how far can this theory of a dimpled surface be stretched? Our friends over at Mythbusters put it to the test by dimpling an entire car. Their mission was to determine if a dimpled surface would increase gas mileage, since in theory the drag would be reduced.
Remember, it's the dimples on a golf ball that cut down its drag and make it fly further. So by covering the clay with these,
That's one dimpled car. If ever there was a car that looked like a golf ball, this is it.
it might make the car more aerodynamic.
This is by far one of the stranger things we've ever built. And to my mind, actually one of the most beautiful, and not aesthetically either. I mean, to me, the beauty here is that we've taken the phrase golf ball-like effect on the car to the furthest possible point. No one can accuse us of not going far enough. Is this treatment going to translate to better fuel efficiency? I really don't think so.
Now it's over to Adam.
8,972 grams. All right, time to do a little math.
What'd you get?
Okay, so the clean car without any clay on it was 26 miles per gallon and change. The clay car with no dimples was 26 miles per gallon and change. The dimpled car, 29.65 miles to the gallon. There is a golf ball-like effect.
Dimpled car, although not aesthetically pleasing, did in fact have better mileage. Isn't it amazing that the simple drag principles on a golf ball can be applied on such a large scale?